Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial video, we're going to be drafting a basic body skirt and a panel skirt as well in the same video. Here I'm going to be using one paper. That's the reason why I drafted my midpoint in between the lines to have my center front and my center back on the same paper. So we are practically using the same paper to get the front of the skirt and of course the back of the skirt. Without any further ado, let's proceed, guys. Here I'm already labeling my center front and I'm already labeling my center back as well, as you can see in the video. And the measurement we are working with is waist of 28, hip of 40, length of 39, which is the length of the pattern, and of course sewing allowance of 1.5. Mind you, this is not my actual body measurement. I am using that measurement because it's going to be enough for what we have on the paper based on what we have for the midpoint. At this point, I'm already marking our 8 inches hip depth for the low waist. This is hip depth of an average person, which is 8 inches for low waist. And mind you, if you want to have your high waist, you can add extra 2 inches as a band on the skirt if you want to get your high waist. Okay, but for the sake of this tutorial video, we're using the 8 inches hip depth for an average person for low waist. So here I'm labeling it as our hip measurement. That's our hip depth. Now moving on. Earlier when I said we're going to be drafting a basic body skirt and a panel skirt on the same pattern. So that means this skirt is going to have a dart. And for the sake of this tutorial video, we're going to be using the nipple to nipple measurement of 4 inches. And I'm going to mark my nipple to nipple measurement of 4 inches. I'm also going to mark the same nipple to nipple measurement for the center front, which is 4 inches. And for the back dart, I'm going to come up 2 inches above the hip point. And of course, mark the usual ½ inch measurement for the dart, as you can see in the video. I'm going to repeat the same thing for the center front. The difference is that for the center back, I came up 2 inches for the dart point, 2 inches above the hip point for the dart. But for the center front, I'm going to come up 2.5 inches above the hip point for the center front because I want my dart intake for the front to be a little bit shorter than that of the back pattern or the back of the skirt. I'm just marking my nipple to nipple measurement to have a straight line proportionally. So that I'm going to have a straight line. And here I'm already marking my 2.5 inches above the hip point. And I'm marking my half inch for my dart connection. So after doing that, we're going to get the measurement of our waist point. And like I said, the waist measurement that we're using for this particular pattern is 28 inches. 28 inches divided by 4 plus 1.5 sewing allowance. And of course, the 1 inch dart intake that we're going to eliminate so that we don't have a shortage on our waist. That's the total of what we are getting. So 28 divided by 4 plus 1.5 sewing allowance plus 1 inch dart. We mark it on both sides of the pattern. After marking that, we're going to get our hip measurement, which is 40 inches divided by 4 plus 1.5 sewing allowance. When we are done getting that, we can be able to connect with our hip curve. Now, in this video, I forgot that we are using a different measurement for this particular tutorial. So I used a different measurement originally. If you see the connection on the pattern is wrong based on the measurement that we plan to use for this particular tutorial. I mistakenly used a different measurement and I connected my hip curve. But when I realized the mistake, I had to calculate the measurement of the size that we are working for this particular tutorial, which is 40 inches divided by 4 plus 1.5. This is what I am redrafting again. And to avoid confusion, by the time I'm done getting the hip measurement, I'm going to eliminate it entirely from this particular tutorial so we don't get confused. All right. So I got the measurement of the actual measurement that we are working with for this particular tutorial, which is 40 inches divided by 4 plus 1.5 sewing allowance because I got carried away and I used a different measurement. All right. So what we have for the 40 inches divided by 4 plus 1.5 sewing allowance, I'm going to get it down to the hem of the pattern, of course, and get it proportionally so I can be able to have a straight line, which is exactly what I am doing in the video, as you can see. So please, I'm sorry for the mistake. I don't want you guys to get confused. And for that reason, I'm going to slash out that particular error so we don't get confused for this particular tutorial. All right. I'm connecting with my straight ruler. And after doing that, I'm going to eliminate that excess that we don't need, which is the wrong measurement that I initially drafted. All right. So at this point, I'm going to cut it out. So this is the actual measurement that we are working with, waist of 28 inches and hip of 40 inches. So for the back pattern, you guys already know I'm very particular about eliminating zipper bulge. I'm just going to go in ½ inches and connect down to the hip area and eliminate that part where I marked the ½ inch so that we can be able to have zipper bulge elimination. So whether you are drafting a normal skirt or you want to add the skirt to a top, that also works. But please bear in mind that if you want to add the skirt to a top, you also need to do zipper bulge elimination for the top as well. Here I'm already slashing out the borderline because we don't need it, so we can be able to have our waistline. And if you want to add the skirt to a top, you also need to add half an inch allowance by that waist area. Okay, and you also need to add half an inch allowance by the hem of the top. That is if you are joining this particular skirt to a top. Now for the front side, I'm going to come down half an inch or 0.75, whatever works for you. But the point is I want to have a balance by the waist area. Remember that the back of your skirt or the back of your pant, because of the bum area, is going to be higher than that of the front side. So I'm just going to use half an inch for the sake of this tutorial. You can use 0.75, that works. From the center front, you connect it to the hip area, all right, with your French curve, and then you eliminate it. Mind you, this particular part is optional. If you want, you do it. If you don't want, you leave it. That can still work. So now moving on, we're going to do our pencil shaping of the skirt because we don't want the skirt to be looking so big by the hem area. So for the center back by the hip area, I'm going to come in 2 inches, as you can see in the video, and I'm going to mark my 2 inches. Whatever works for you. If you want to use 1.5, whatever is you want is your choice. Then for the center front, I'm going to come in 1 inch, just to have an extra penciling. And of course, from the hip area, I'm going to come down 1 inch as well by the hip area, come down 1 inch and connect with my straight ruler, as you can see in the video. Okay, if you want to connect straight to your hip line, that also works, whatever works for you. All right, so I'm already getting my pencil shaping here, and I'm already eliminating the excess that we don't need for this pattern. Now that we are done eliminating the excess that we don't need for this pattern, our pencil skirt is automatically ready. Like, it is ready. But now remember, I told you that in this pattern, we're also going to have a panel skirt as well, which is the reason why I added the dart allowance, the dart intake. Okay, now mind you, the dart intake can still be there if you want to do a skirt with a dart. But I also want to add the panel pattern to this particular tutorial. Now to do that, the nipple to nipple measurement that you have, we're going to connect it down to the hem of the pattern, as you can see in the video, and I'm going to connect to my straight ruler. The nipple to nipple measurement that you used for the dart, you will connect it proportionally down to the hem of the pattern and connect with your straight ruler, as you can see in the video. So now I'm going to use my straight ruler to connect from that dart point down to the hem of the skirt, same nipple to nipple measurement. All right, by the time I'm done, I'm going to use the scissors to slash it out, both the center front and the center back. So what that means is, instead of having one pattern for each side, that's for the center front and for the center back, we're going to have 2 for the center front and for the center back. As you can see, center front 1, center front 2, center back 1, and center back 2. When you are slashing with your scissors, bearing in mind as well that that dart area is also going to be eliminated. Please watch the video and you see how I'm going to cut out this particular pattern, because that dart needs to be eliminated to have a perfect dart. The same way you eliminate your dart, the same way you're going to do in this pattern, but the difference is for the other side, they're going to slash out straight line, then get to the dart and extract the dart as well, the same way we extract our normal dart pattern. Okay, so here's what I'm doing in the video. Guys, our panel skirt is ready, and if you got to this point in this video, it means this video is helpful to you, and we would appreciate so much if you like, comment, share, subscribe, and of course click on the notification bell so that whenever we post, you get notified. For the CF1, is going to be on fold on your fabric, and when you place these patterns on your fabric, please do well to add your half inch joining allowance so you don't have a shortage on your fabric. If you got to this point in this video, I want to assume that you already know how to draft a basic skirt pattern and a panel skirt pattern, and I would like you to do this on your own and let's see how the outcome would look like. Thank you guys so much for always sticking with me. Thank you for always watching my videos. Thank you for always engaging, and of course I'm going to see you guys in my next video. And with that being said, bye guys, and have a wonderful day.